What's shaking, guys? Luke Dancy here. Very, very stoked today to bring you an exciting chat with the one and only Mr. Shin Lim. You've seen this guy all over the place, and I do mean all over the place. He has been on TV. As you know, he was the winner of America's Got Talent recently. He was also the winner of AGT The Champions as well, which is very, very exciting stuff. Shin has been killing it out there. And, you know, if you haven't seen him out there, you might have seen him in Las Vegas, you know, at the Mirage Casino and Hotel. I mean, that's no small feat either. Of course, he's also been doing some TV stuff as well. He popped up recently on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. That's pretty rad. He also popped up very recently on the Ellen Show. So he's definitely been making the rounds. And I am very, very excited to bring him here today for all of you guys. If you have any questions for him along the way, too, we'll be hanging out for about 20 minutes or so. That's pretty much what I got lined up for you. So without further ado, give a very, very warm welcome to the one and only Mr. Shin Lim. How we doing,
Hey
sir?
guys, how's it going?
Oh, man, this is great. I appreciate your time, man. I know you're very, very busy these days, so thank you.
Hey, no, thanks for having me. It's good.
Oh, wow.
It's good
This
to
is
good
this
to
is
do
great.
this.
People are blowing up already, wanting to ask you stuff, but got a couple questions from my little list over here too. So let's kick things off. You won America's Got Talent.
hmm
You went back. You won the champions, and you're in Vegas. You're on TV. What is life like for you now? I mean, it must be super crazy, super busy, and
yeah,
yeah.
just lack of sleep, to be honest. That's just the main thing. No, it's great. It's a wild ride. I'm learning a lot of stuff that I haven't really thought I'd have to do. A lot of new things that I'm like kind of just learning, just different stuff that usually like you wouldn't expect to have to learn how to do like last minute, you know. And so it's just like because like with TV and stuff like that, they kind of work differently, and so just have to learn how to do that. You have to learn the different things that pop up when you're asked to do stuff, and like, oh, your music needs to change because we don't have the license for it, or oh, you need to say this because you can't say that in front of Ellen, or you can't say this in front of Jimmy, stuff like that. It's just it's weird and stuff that you'd never really expect when you're yeah, on a TV show or whatever, or not just TV show, just anything.
Yeah. Okay. What
Strange.
about what would you say is the craziest thing about all of that? I know that's definitely new to you, but what's like the craziest thing out of all of this you think that you went, I can't believe this, or I would have never thought that, you know?
Well, for me, to be honest, is being able to like see them in person. I'm always starstruck every time. I'm like, I can't believe I'm meeting Jimmy Fallon right now.
That's cool.
So cool. Or like I can't believe I'm talking to Ellen right now. Like we're like backstage just talking. I'm like, I just can't believe I'm talking to them right now. You know, it's wild.
That's awesome, dude. Before we get too deep into this, I do want to welcome everybody here. We got people watching on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. If you guys do have questions, pop them on in. Speaking of all this winning, I want to lead out with something. I know I just mentioned it to you before we went live. I've got the moment where you won AGT queued up, and I thought it might be kind of fun. I've seen you do reaction videos to your own videos. I've seen this on YouTube. Um, why don't we do a little reaction video of Shin Lim watching?
Sure. This one will be more serious though. I'll actually talk about how I'm
Okay,
feeling during
okay.
the time. Yeah.
So let's go back in time and have Shin Lim watch himself watch Shin Lim win AGT. There you go. So what's going through your head right now, Shin, on this part of the show?
Yeah, it's surreal, man. At this point already, I kind of realized I was like, wow, I could actually win this thing. That was what was going through my head. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Time was actually moving pretty fast, strangely enough. You know how people always like, oh, it's going like really, really slow and stuff like that. But yeah, no, time was going really fast for some reason, and immediately just found out that I won, and then it was crazy. But then the moment that that all that happened, like when Tyra Banks had revealed the name, all of a sudden, like all the stuff. So wait, I'll just show you here. So like right here. So I had no idea that fireworks were going off.
Oh, God.
See how there's fireworks in the
Oh,
background?
yeah.
I couldn't hear that.
Oh, wow.
Like all that was like a blur to me. So it was weird. Like so the moment they said I won, everything just became like shell shock, almost crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're picking you up. You're wow. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just
Then I was like, whoa, what? I'm being lifted up. So it was very, very dreamlike for me. Very cool. Very, very cool
did.
experience. Yeah.
And it's just gone up and up and up from there. I mean, then you came back and did the whole champions thing, which was
Yeah.
amazing. And we're going to get into some of the creative stuff with Shin a little bit here, but that's the thing. You continue to be out there doing new stuff. You keep like pushing yourself to create new stuff for each of these appearances. That's got to be
It,
extremely difficult.
it is. I mean, well, I think I've always wanted to do that. Even before AGT and everything, I've always wanted to create magic. You've probably seen it on like it's. Sorry, there you go. You've probably seen it on Instagram and stuff like that. Wait, can you still see me and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry, Natsu just like totally clicked on a keyboard.
You're good.
Apologies for Natsu, everybody. He's running around right now, just kind of crazy dog. Yeah, that is. I think I just something that I've always wanted to do. I just always like creating new stuff for fun, either whether it be for fun or for TV appearances. I don't know. I just find stuff fun, creating, building, putting stuff together, putting music to things. Yeah.
Definitely the music, with you and the background that you have, with the piano playing. I love how you blend that into your magic, and it gets so powerful when you blend the two together. It definitely makes a very powerful combo, and I think that's something that people weren't expecting with magic. They've seen it on stage with the lights and the illusions and the fast pacing and the girls and all this. You took it in a different direction. You still had the music, and you had an emotional connection, but you did it in such a fresh new way. And it's funny to see all these people now trying to like kind of emulate that, even though they don't have the it
I
factor.
appreciate that.
Um,
I mean, it's well, so the main reason why I did that was because I was too shy to talk. That
wow, you would never know
yeah.
that, dude.
Yeah, not many people know that, but that was actually the reason why I never wanted to talk during my close-up sets because I was just too shy. Like my voice would like tremble and stuff like that. Like, I mean, even recently I would still do that. Like, it's hard for me to talk and perform magic at the same time. So I put it to music that I liked and that I enjoyed, and that was like my out for not talking. And somehow, people started like saying like, "Wow, this is unique. This is different. This is cool." And I started to see that too. I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" Like I'm able to like express myself through music. So I kept doing it, and yeah, it's kind of blew up, I guess.
People absolutely love this stuff, and I've got so many people blowing up the chat right now. I was gonna look and see if there were any, and people are asking, "Is this live?" It totally is live. We're 100% live here.
Yeah, it's live, guys. I'm very tired, and Natsu kept me up all night, so this definitely is live.
Here's a great question from one of our auditioning or being on the show for anybody. I guess doesn't even have to be just magic. What are your
Yeah,
tips for the Got
yeah.
Talent series?
Doesn't have to be magic, man. It can be anything. It can be juggling. It can be contortionist. Everything. I think probably the only one that's kind of like different is singing, because singing you can do like covers of stuff, and
Yep.
so it's a little bit different. But yeah. But anyway, everything else, like, you just have to really make sure you're prepared. That's the main thing. You got to kind of prepare. I say this a lot, and this is not meaning like, oh, you think you're gonna win. You got to prepare that you're gonna win.
Well,
So what I mean by that is you got to prepare that you're gonna make it to the final round, because you very well might. And if you do, but you don't have the right acts, or you aren't prepared at all whatsoever, people can see that. Judges can see that, and they'll say something. They'll be like, "Oh, you weren't that good this time around," or "Oh, you were better last round," or blah 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 blah. So yeah, you just
cool.
gotta make sure you're prepared. That's actually my main thing. Because what happens is with TV, there's so much stuff that goes on in the background that
Sure.
really affects you. So you got to really make sure you're really comfortable with your acts, because they might. Sorry, let's see. Come here, baby. Oh,
Not soon.
sorry, everybody. Hey, Natsu, say hi. having a little allergic reaction trance. He's like just running around all over the house. Um, so because the thing about TV is that they change things on you. So sometimes they change the music, especially because they don't have the rights for it, or the producers don't like this section for some reason.
Mm.
They can just not like something and they want it to change. You kind of have to listen to them because they're the producer, obviously. So because of that, you have to be really, really comfortable with your act. Because let's just say it's like a new act, right? And then they're telling you to change the music. They're telling you to change the act itself. They're telling you to change the ending. They're telling you to change the story. Like if it's a new act, you're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be comfortable to do that because you're not even comfortable with the act itself, right? And let alone you're performing on TV. So you got to be prepared. So you got to have the act down. You got to have it. You have to have performed it for a while already. That way you're kind of used to changing it if need be. And that's the main thing, because a lot of stuff that just happens behind the scenes, you got to be prepared for that stuff to happen.
Well said. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely have heard some stories about how people go into it thinking one thing and they leave going, oh my god, I didn't expect any of that. Yeah, definitely much different expectation. When it comes to the show and everything, you went back and you did the champions. Um, you know, you did both. You did AGT and then you did the champions. But when you went into the original AGT, there was a good question here. Someone was kind of asking, what were you going into it with the expectation of, or what was the reason, I guess, when you first did it? That, I mean, obviously everyone wants to win, but did you have your own personal reason why you wanted to go on the show?
I think I've always wanted to go on the show,
Yeah.
ever since I saw Matt Franco one.
Right.
Because when I saw Matt Franco one, I was like, oh my gosh, magicians could win this show too. Because
Yeah.
before it was only singers and like it was not magicians. Like magicians actually, I think were being portrayed in a negative light.
Agreed.
Almost before Franco, and then after Matt Franco went on, he was pushed to superstardom, like just like that. And to me that like it was so nice to see magic being put in such a good light. I was like, this is awesome, like they're saying such nice things. Everyone around me knew who Matt Franco was. They're like, oh my god, Matt Franco won. Oh my god, do you know Matt Franco? I'm like, oh yeah, like, it was great. Like this is cool because before that I think they were just AGT had been making fun of magicians and stuff like that, especially when they messed up and stuff. So to see that was awesome. That was actually when I was like, all right, maybe I should do AGT too. Like this is cool.
Yeah.
It's a very, very, very similar to like FISM. Same, almost the same story. Because FISM was I had seen Sean Farquhar won FISM.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing musical magic. And so at the time I was also doing like music and magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, that's awesome. Like Sean's doing this, like, and they accept it as what it is. Like I should do it too. So it was the same decision making type of thing.
Cool. We're watching you in all your glory here.
This one's Champions, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Terry's on this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a beautiful act, man, that you do, and of course Howie loves it, and Natsu loves it too. I can hear Natsu.
Yeah.
Natsu's loving it too.
Sorry about that.
Here's something that I was really, really excited to ask you about, and I'm glad that Nigel asked this actually. We're talking about you and last week on AGT Champions with Mark Spellman in the X Act. I know you can't give away too much, but how did it all... What's that?
Surprise.
That was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
We all loved it. When you came out, when you took off the mask in the moment, you did the hair, you did the thing. Like,
I had to keep that all quiet for a while. I don't want to ruin it. I didn't want to spoil it. That was fun.
Diane's question was, how did that all come about? Obviously there are secrets in the industry, but did he contact you? Had you had this plan for a while, or was this something he knew you were going to be near New York, and he's like, okay, let me get to Shin.
Very last minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a day before. I'm not.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, they were like, "Shin, you free right now? We're in need, desperate need." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure."
Yeah, I was wishing last week. I'm like, damn, I wish he was on the next day after it all happened. But I mean, a week later, that's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, people loved it, man. And the magicians online were all freaking out and loving it. And of course, the audience, they're just happy to see you back on the show again. So,
Yeah, no, they were great. They're really great. Well, and I'll be back again just as a guest appearance in the next like 2 weeks, I think, something
oh,
like
good.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just as a to perform. Um,
cool.
yeah, they had me back on afterwards again because they were like, "Yeah, why don't you do something? We need some content." And I was like, "Okay."
All right. So we'll look for you. You said about 2 weeks. Is that right?
I actually have no idea.
Oh, okay. All right. You'll
Yeah,
be
it's
back.
two
That's
or
all we
three
need to know.
weeks, something
All
like
right.
that.
Here's a good question. We're talking about what you're doing now, but Ellis Cohen's got a nice beginner type question here. Who taught you your first trick? Let's go way back in time.
Yeah. My older brother taught me my first trick.
Very
He
cool.
taught me the slip force,
Cool.
and to me that was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I was like, because for me when I thought of magic, I thought you have to be some part of some sort of cult, or you'd have to like be part of the Illuminati or something like in order to accomplish these amazing feats. But then I was like, oh wow, if my brother can do it, then like I can do it. So
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah. And he was like, you can learn all this on YouTube and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, okay. So I went on YouTube and started learning like the basic this that or the other trick or like all those silly tricks that were being taught at the time.
I got the ball rolling, and here you are now. Who would have thought?
And yeah, that's right.
The,
Wow.
the big question is your brother still dabbling with magic? I mean, obviously, look at his
Uh,
brother. Like, I mean,
yeah.
we're
That was like the only trick he ever
oh,
learned,
okay, all
and
right.
he just decided to show me because he was bored.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he's looking at you now, going, "Damn, I wish I had actually done that." Because,
No, he
um,
had a thing going on at the time, so he was
let's see. So Dylan Murray, kind of along the same question here. Hello, Shin. Your performances are incredible. Obviously, a big fan here. Um, is so that's pretty much what got you involved with Magic, then, right? Because that's his other
yeah.
question
I mean,
was the
taught me my first trick, but in reality, I wanted to I got so like involved with magic because I thought it would get me a girlfriend. That was my main reason. I was trying to get a girl in general.
okay, okay.
I didn't know how to talk to girls, but like then after I showed them the trick and you still have to talk to them, and I was like, oh man, this is tough. Never mind, I'll just keep doing magic and that's it. So,
Well, I think it's only fitting then that you met your now wife technically because of Magic. You were performing at
yeah,
Franz Harari's theater there, and she was a dancer, and bada bing,
yeah,
bada boom. I mean,
man,
it worked.
it it does work, guys. It does work.
Yeah. There's also, as I said earlier, we have a lot of magicians. Obviously, there's a lot of your fans are probably going to be watching this too. But from the Magic side, do you have any new stuff of your own maybe coming out? Maybe it's decks of cards, or maybe it's some other. A
Uh,
new Servant
um,
came out recently. Your Servant came out.
yeah, that was fun.
Um, but any
Uh,
other new stuff?
in terms of like product,
Hmm.
we're trying to. It's just so busy.
Yep.
One of the ones that I've been meaning to release for the past like year, but it just hasn't happened. It's like a beginner's guide
Okay.
to card magic,
Cool.
and I just teach what I know for like what I learned when I was first starting out and stuff like that, and kind of from beginner to advanced.
Okay.
And it comes with some gaff cards as well. So yeah, I've been meaning to put that out for the past year. It's just
Okay.
delays after delays. So, but hopefully it comes out soon.
Hey man, you've got nothing but the best reasons in the world to not be doing that. So I totally get it. Yeah. There was a good question here. I was going to ask you this too, but Thomas kind of put it even more into detail. I was going to ask you about kind of like what's next for you, but he goes even deeper. What are your, let's say this like a job. Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Like your plan, but with Magic, I know you don't want to give away all of your secrets or maybe some of that, but what are some of your future plans beyond what you're doing now? Because obviously you're performing in Vegas. I mean, that's kind of hard to. Yeah, that's a glass ceiling. How are you supposed to break that? But where's Shin Lim gonna go from here?
Um, it's a tough question for me because I don't really plan ahead.
Okay.
So I tend to just like plan my day. I'm kind of a day-to-day guy.
Okay.
But I guess an overall goal at the end would be to experiment more in different types of magic for
Mm,
me. Because I mean, card magic can only go so far,
mm.
and you want to be able to do other things. So I'm dibbly dallying or whatever you call it on other stuff at the moment.
Okay.
Just being a bit experimental, yeah,
Cool.
and just kind of I'm not doing mentalism, that's for
Okay.
sure. But I'm definitely mixing some of that into my close-up magic as well, as you've probably seen in yeah, there you go, in my TV appearances and stuff like that. I must be getting influence from Colin. I'm hanging out with Colin too much.
uh, Here you are on Ellen, another one of your TV appearances.
Hmm.
What do you think your favorite one has been so far? I'm not asking like from the people standpoint because obviously they're all unique characters, but
Yeah,
like your favorite TV appearance. Do you have a favorite one that you've done?
yeah. This one has been my favorite.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, yeah, because it was really well thought. Blaze Sarah, right?
Who's that?
Blaze Sarah from
Yes, you did his
yeah,
one armed.
One Arm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he helped consult for this trick. It was really good.
Oh, cool.
I really enjoyed it, and it's I thought it was so well thought out. Just the story and everything, even the tricks itself.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. He also helped come up with the tricks as well for this one, which was really nice. I thought it was my first time seeing like the hosts kind of react in a different way because the trick was so personal,
Hmm.
and so yeah, it was cool to see that, and it was my first time being like, oh wow, this kind of works. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I was like, I'm gonna do this now more often, and it does work. So yeah,
Got some people out there saying the trick that you did on Ellen blew them away. Definitely digging on that. Got a lot of other questions. I'm trying to plow through these as quick as I can. I know we only have a few more minutes here with Shin, so I'm doing my best, guys, to keep up here. We're already over a couple minutes, so let me try to get to a couple more here real quick. Eddie Cards over on YouTube. Shin, I'm a magician. I have a question. What is your perception of magic? I know that's a pretty deep question, but how do you
yeah.
look at it from a whole?
Uh, oof. I feel like there's two different types of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it sucks to, I guess, put it this way, or I don't know if it sucks, but yeah, I see magic in two different ways. There's like social media magic or like media magic, and then there's like real life magic.
Yep.
I see them totally different. I don't even see them together. Um, and it's like, how do we make magic like entertaining in both either social media,
Yep.
real life, and that's like the struggle. Just in I think that most magicians probably have. I have all the time. I struggle with it. I question myself. Like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Am I
Mm-hmm.
am I posting the right content, or am I doing a good performance? Stuff like that. So it's that's kind of like my like overall like perception of where magic's at like right now.
Yep.
And then of course there's so much that goes into media, and then there's so much that goes into live performance, things that are changing nowadays that people don't really expect anymore. Like, because people, magic used to be, you could go out there and be like, oh yeah, magic's real. I'm I'm a I'm actually magic. Like back in the day you could do that. Nowadays you can't. So it's having this little shift now that
Sure.
is pretty scary, but at the same time, like, gotta figure out how to adapt and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I had a chat. It was a pretty quick chat. It was a year ago, around the holidays, and you and I were talking. And the one thing you walked away saying from it, I remember, and I really respected it, was you said, I'm doing my best. I'm trying different things. I'm gonna just see what works out there. Um,
Yeah.
because you don't know until you try it at the end of the day too. So,
Yeah.
but your respect for the art is definitely there, and people notice it, and you're definitely carrying the torch. You're keeping magic relevant, and you're doing it in a new and fresh way. You could just be another illusion guy pushing boxes and doing all that, but I mean, you totally went in a different direction. But it's gone mainstream. I mean, dude, I see you all over the Vegas Strip. I see you on the billboards, the marquees. I see you on cabs. I see you everywhere, and that's a testament to your hard work and everything you've done. And I mean, damn, it's so awesome to see magic that in that light, especially in Las Vegas of all places, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, no, I'm so super lucky too to be able to get all this. This is it's amazing,
Yeah.
and that's another thing. Like I'm trying to like, I'm like I don't want to disappoint anyone, so
Dude.
that's the main thing. You know, I'm like I just want to make sure I don't look like an idiot and just like do my best. That's all I'm like because I do see my face on all this stuff and I'm like, oh wow, this is too much for me. So I got to make sure I I do right by everybody. That's my main thing.
Right on.
That's my worry. Every time I post on social media, every time I create a new thing for a TV show, I'm always like, is it enough? Like
Wow.
I just gotta make sure it's like enough to not disappoint. Like that's my worry.
Dude, I mean, that just shows you care at the end of the day, which is a beautiful thing. So I hope you continue to be that way for sure. um, I'll take one more question here. I don't know if this is actually the CNN. If it is, it's pretty badass that they're watching this. CNN Live says, which came first, magic or playing the piano? Obviously, a lot of us know that, but there's a connection. But which did come first for you?
Playing the piano came first.
Right.
I was originally going to be a pianist. I went to university for it. It's just that midway through university, all of a sudden I got well, not it wasn't all of a sudden, but I kind of felt it coming, but it just got really bad. It was the carpal tunnel syndrome. The doctor
Mhm.
diagnosed me with it, and it kind of forced me to take a little break from magic for a while,
Mhm.
and then I had to take a break from music, from music university. Kind of took like a 1 year sabbatical, but then during that 1 year sabbatical, I started focusing more on magic, and I started making some money off of magic from touring.
Mhm.
I got a tour gig, and I was like, whoa, I can make a living off of this. And that's when, yeah.
Nice. Very cool. We were just talking about Las Vegas, of course, as well, with you being everywhere. We were talking about some exciting news that I just found out. Why don't you let the guys know about when you're going to be back in Vegas, and this time actually for how long? This is pretty
January 31st, and then I'll be there for a whole month. And my dates are actually all the way till end of 2020, so
nice.
pretty exciting stuff.
So you'll be here the entire month of February, right?
Entire month of February, and then March I'll be doing my West Coast tour,
Cool.
and then the next month after March, another month in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of shows and a lot I have to try to fill up.
That's awesome, dude. So yeah, if you guys are planning on coming out this way to the old Las Vegas, Shin will be here. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
It's tough. It's so weird trying to sell tickets to seats. So that's a whole nother monster to figure out too.
Yeah.
Like advertising stuff. Like it's like I never imagined I'd have to like worry about that. Like I used to have to only worry about my magic, and then like the tricks, and then just like stuff like that, and now I have to worry about like ticket sales, and I'm just like, okay, oh, I'm really inexperienced in all of this stuff, but all right, I'll try. I'll give it a shot.
Well, it's like I mentioned before. Whoever's got you out there, promoting you is doing a damn good job because you are hard. You can't not see you on the strip, so you're definitely being promoted very well. That's for sure. Yeah. How about one last question? I know we kind of crept around the creative topic. Do you mind if we go into that real quick and then we'll let you get out of here? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Cool. Vince specifically brings it up. He says, hey, look, I have a question. What is your process in making a routine personal or somehow where the spectator connect with you through the magic, even if it's just something like a card trick? So that's a good question.
Yeah, it was with the Ellen piece, yeah?
I think just maybe in general, but if you want to make it that as the example, that's cool. That'll work. Yeah.
That was our first piece. Me and Blaze like realized like, whoa, making it personal all of a sudden doesn't make it feel like a card trick.
Mm-hmm.
That's always my main thing when I'm creating routines. I always make sure that it doesn't feel like a card trick.
Mm-hmm.
That's why because it can be kind of mundane card magic. So especially a lot of this, like when it has to do with this, like pick a card, like that can really scream out like card trick. So I try my best not to have that as much as possible, although sometimes you can't avoid it. But we both realized we were onto something when we were creating it. We were like, whoa, this is like this is different. I mean, to make it personal, obviously, it's not that difficult. You just do some research on Google. You know, that's all it is. You do some research and then you figure it out, and then you structure the whole routine around that.
Sure.
That's what we did, and that's what we've been doing for even we did this trick on the Today Show with Hoda and Jenna, and that was great. They freaked out too. So it's the same. It was the same thing, and so we found out information about them first.
Cool.
Then we were like, okay, what trick can we do here? What trick can we do there to reveal that or change that?
So pretty much by getting personal, you know, finding out this information, and that helps to make it not just feel like a card trick. That's pretty much the gist of that. I mean, he was wanting to know how to do that himself. It sounds like it's not as hard as you think, but okay, you gotta do the work, gotta do the homework. You know, you gotta put in the time, and that's something obviously you've done a lot of. I can't imagine how many hours you used to spend practicing just your sleight of hand to get it to where it is now. I mean, dude, I can't even imagine.
A lot, and now it's more like structuring stuff.
Sure.
And using the same slides that I've already known in the past and practiced in the past, and
Yeah.
applying it to new stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes very last minute stuff, but that's okay.
Well, it definitely shows. I mean, you've got the foundation. You put in the work first, which I think is a testament, and it's something I think a lot of people should hear. Is before Shin was where he's at now, you were quietly behind the scenes, practicing, working, putting in the time, and now you have that foundation to work off of. You know, I think people want the shortcut these days, but they don't see what goes on behind the scenes to get you where you are now. You know.
Yeah, because you know if you go, I mean it's you can kind of clearly see sometimes when I like to use AGT as an example because it's the biggest stage in the world. But like sometimes you can see someone has an amazing first act, like incredible first act, and then all of a sudden the second act's like, whoa, what happened? Oh, and then there's always an excuse like, oh, the TV people, they made me look bad on purpose, or blah 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 on purpose, or this and that or that, and usually that's just an excuse.
Yep.
The real reason is because they weren't prepared. So it's you just gotta always make sure you're prepared. I think that's the main thing. You gotta prepare for the worst. You gotta prepare for the best.
Yep.
My mom always told me that. So.
Well,
So that's the advice I'm giving you, young kids.
it's got to be weird for you to be that guy now. I mean, you're the guy.
You know what's crazy? I go to this jam right every Thursday in Pasadena. It's called the Bobatory, and I just see all these young kids these days, and it's so funny because they're making gaff cards better than me now.
Oh wow!
Like way better than me, and I'm like, what the hell? And they're using better thread, they're using better this, better that. And I was like, oh man, now I know how they felt when I was like 16 years old doing all this stuff. Oh, this is how they felt.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely are you're quite the champion for all of us as magicians. You're definitely paving the way and opening the doors for a lot of people to, do magic in a way that they only wished many, many moons ago. You know, to be able to do close-up magic but have it play to a big audience. I mean, you do it nightly on the Las Vegas Strip, which is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Yeah. Well, Shin, I know I've gone over a few minutes here, so I apologize for that. I know you've got a lot going on, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. But if people do want to keep up with you, obviously, you want to share your social media, you want to share your website, tour stuff, any of that, feel free. The floor is yours, man.
Oh, thank you, man. If you want to keep up to date with like just my day-to-day stuff, Instagram's probably the best thing. So at Shin the Magic, or whenever I post stuff. Sometimes I don't post for a week, but well. And then also on YouTube, sometimes I post cool stuff on there. And if you want to keep up to date with like all my tours and all the shows, probably best to subscribe to the newsletter on my website, which is shinlamagic.com. You can also find out like tour dates and stuff like that, and when I'll be performing in your city or in Vegas. So
cool. Sounds good. All right, Shin. Well, again, I know you're super busy and extremely exhausted from all the work. So
yeah,
thank you for the time. Really appreciate it.
This is cool. This is fun.
We all appreciate what you do for us and the time too. I know there were a lot of questions that didn't get answered. Sorry, guys. I got to keep Shin. Yeah, he's got very limited time, so I do apologize if we couldn't get to you, but appreciate you hanging out with us today. So Shin, have a great rest of your day, my friend, and keep up the work. And yeah, man, you're doing big things, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So
Thanks,
Yes. All right. Well, guys, from me and Shin Lim, we're gonna wish you a great rest of your day, and we will catch you next time. See you.
guys.